He is the co-host of the CBS Morning Show. He's a former NFL wide receiver. He's got his own podcast. He's a podcast host. And as I told you, he's the co-host of the CBS Morning Show with my friend, the lovely Gayle King, as well. I'm talking about the man, the myth, the legend himself. He's becoming a legend. The one and only Nate Burleson is here with me right now. What's going on, big time? How are you, man? How's everything?
What's going on, baby? I appreciate you. It's an honor to be on your show. Thank you for having me on. Hey, before we get to anything, though, I would love to talk some basketball, contrary to popular belief.
Go ahead.
NBA, that's where my love is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hooper at heart. So you were just talking about the Suns. We know Matt Ishbia, he does have deep pockets. The question is, after they get done doing what they need to do, getting ready for next season, will those deep pockets turn into a deep bench? Because right now it's not looking like they're going to have enough to take the Nuggets out. The Nuggets by far are the better team.
Well, that's very astute. That's very astute on your part. I mean, damn it, if I could talk football, you could talk basketball. So I'm very, very proud of you to know that with your busy schedule, working on the NFL Network, working on CBS, doing CBS Morning Show stuff as well, you still find time in your busy schedule to watch basketball, Nate Burleson, because that's a very astute point on your part. You're not going to have enough dollars to go out there and get a bench, which brings this into question, Nate. Are you going to be able, if you're Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, knowing that the three of you guys are going to be the ones shooting the ball, are you going to be able to pull a LeBron? Are you going to be able to pull a Steph Curry and be able to attract cats to want to play with you in Phoenix? That's a legitimate question. You think they're going to be able to pull that off?
They're going to have to do that. If Durant wants to win another title and Book and Ayton want to get their first title, they're going to have to attract guys. They got to get on the horn. They got to call, text, go kick it with dudes, go to Cabo, Tulum, wherever you got to go, talk to guys and try to get them to Phoenix. But you made a good point about Book being a point, because I was a point in high school. And you know, when you're the floor general, you're not only going to be able to direct the ball and get the offense going, but it can be exhausting at times. Just think about LeBron all those years when he had to play point guard / power forward. That can be exhausting. I just hope they bring in a point guard to take the pressure off of all them shooters.
Wait a minute.
I know Fred VanVleet is out there, but Fred VanVleet is going to be expensive. That's my top free agent right now.
VanVleet ain't going to Phoenix. They don't have enough to go get him. I know. But I will tell you this. I don't know if I agree with you on that point. When I saw CP3 go down, and Devin Booker had the ball in his hands at the one playing point, this brother was a nightmare. I don't know if I have a problem with Devin Booker being the one. Hell with bringing a point guard in, Nate Burleson. Let him stay at the point.
You're talking about a playoff run, though. What about for 82 games? You're asking one of the top killers in the NBA to play point guard / shooting guard for 82 weeks?
Well, are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? One could easily argue it might be easier for him because if he got the ball in his hands, he don't have to run around through picks and screens and all of this other stuff just to get open enough to get the ball. You're going to give it to him anyway. So what's wrong with just having him dribble the ball up the damn court himself? I don't see a problem with that, Nate.
I feel like there has to be a three-headed monster of guys bringing the ball up the court, and that's going to give defenses fits. If you got Bill, Durant, and also Book bringing the ball up, there's no way you can stop that.
Well, listen, let me go into your lane with the football thing just for a quick second because I got some other stuff that I want to ask you about. But just as an aside, I wasn't going to bring this up, but since you said you want to talk some sports for a second.
Yeah, let's talk.
Listen, I saw that damn video on, I think it was Twitter, Russell Wilson working out.
I saw that too.
Let me tell you, you're entitled to check me. You're my brother. You know I love you. You can check me if I'm wrong. Nate Burleson, when I saw that video, I was so disgusted with him. Let me tell you why I was disgusted with him. What you doing trying to show off that you know what, you working out and you got all these stretch exercises and you doing your sit-ups, acting like you're your own human Pilates instructor and all of this other stuff. You know what I thought about, Nate? I said to myself, yo, damn, Russell Wilson. Are you trying to say that's what you didn't do coming into last season after you got $200+ million and $165 million guaranteed? Now, if he was showing that last season, leading into last season, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. But after you play like straight garbage, have the worst season of your career, okay, only completed 60% of your passes, all right, didn't win any damn games of any significance, missed the playoffs in a whole bit, and Sean Payton had to come up in there and let you know, oh, you ain't going to operate under your own rules. You're going to be a part of this team. Now here you are showing all your drills and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. It made me think. is that what you didn't do last year, which is why you look so bad? To that you say what?
I love that you brought that up. You know, I've been a Russell Wilson fan for a long time because he joined the Seahawks after
So have I.
He brought a championship to my city, so I'll forever be indebted to him for that. Now, for a long time, because he played so well, whenever he was in the offseason, he was in Hawaii throwing touchdowns in the sand to his boys like this was a cutscene from an 80s movie. I was digging it. Even when he's kicking it over the summer in the offseason, hanging out, training, but not really training. Is he doing it for the team or is he doing it for the gram? I was a little bit of an apologist. I'm going to be real with you.
Okay.
But last year, it all hit the fan. Now, let's keep it real. Russell Wilson be the first to raise his hand and hopefully say, I didn't play well. But at the same time, the play calling was terrible. The offense was anemic, and they just didn't have any rhythm on offense. So this is not all Russell Wilson's fault. I'll tell you what I did notice, because I thought the same thing. I'm looking at Russell sliding across that board with his hand on the football, one hand on the band, and I'm thinking to myself, is he out there trying to prove that he's working out, or is he actually putting in the work that he needs to make this work with the Broncos? I noticed out of all that, those videos that looked like a montage from an old school Rocky movie, that he looked thinner. And one of my biggest concerns last year is that Russell Wilson, the Magic Man, one of the best pocket quarterbacks I've ever seen, just didn't move like he used to move. And I feel like Russell Wilson lost a little bit of weight. He's going to be more agile, which is going to add that dynamic playmaking ability that we once saw when he was a Seattle Seahawks.
And what I'm saying to you, Nate Burleson, is this. I don't disagree with a single syllable you uttered. My point is, you're a veteran. You've been in this league. I'm looking at him right now. He's been in the league 11 years, which means whatever you're doing now, you knew you were supposed to do that last year. And you didn't do it. You forced yourself out of Seattle. You wanted your own shine instead of being under the umbrella of Pete Carroll.
Right.
You went to Denver, got Nathaniel Hackett up in there, knowing he was in over his head. You sitting there and speaking up for him because he was supportive of you standing on your own and operating under your own rules and regulations. Almost to the point when one of your offensive linemen got in your face and wanted to beat you down because you got his boy traded for you to arrive and you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do. So my only point is, everything he's doing now, he knew he was supposed to do that last year. He took it for granted, and that's the crime, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Nate. I'm not saying anything more than that, all right?
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, listen, sometimes some of these players, and mostly QBs, they win championships, get a little money, they get a little big time.
It's been a long time since he brought that
how to humble you.
That's right.
I think he had a slice of humble pie last year, and Russell Wilson will be back in the MVP conversation.
He better be, but I will say this. Denver does have Sierra, so that you're winning. You're winning there. Denver does have Sierra.
I mean, they do have Sierra. Their way to the Super Bowl.
Sierra's there. Denver will recover. Let me get to you, man, because first thing I want to say is that you partnered with a brand, with a watch brand, Shinola. Yep. I want you to talk about how that came about and what that means to you and why.
Well, shout out to Falcon putting together the team and introducing us. I was familiar with the brand before Shinola because I'm a Detroit guy, and by that I mean I spent 4 years in Detroit. I feel like an adopted son, and it's an American brand. It's a Detroit brand. So I'd already purchased plenty of watches and product from the brand. So when I heard about this collaboration and what they wanted to do for Father's Day, I thought it was unique. You know, we wake up as fathers and, you know, we're going to get the socks and the tie and maybe a little extra tools for the tool set. But I wanted to give a gift to my kids. I wanted to give a watch that really could cement what I wanted to create when it came to a legacy. And that's what Shinola is. It's creating a timeless legacy with my children. And I was able to get 3 watches, put our last name on the back. I also got one from my wife. So before they even gave me a gift, before I woke up and had breakfast in bed and opened the cards, I gifted them time because you know, like I know, time is so limited. We have long days, short nights, early mornings. So when we decide to do anything, whether it's work related or it's personal, it's time that we choose to make with our friends, family, or work. And for me, I wanted to make sure when my kids look down at a timepiece, they can remember all the time that I spent with them. Because as much as people see me on TV, I spend twice as much time with my family, and that's the most important thing. So Shinola really captured that in one moment, and we popped the videos up on my Instagram, Twitter, all my social media. Shinola.com had it up. We made basically a short film of me going and picking out the watches and then on a separate day, bringing my boys back who are now 19 and 17 and really having this intimate conversation about what time means to us, what a legacy piece means to us. Because in the Black community, sometimes we choose not to pass down things that mean the most. We choose to pass down things that will fade over time. I don't want what I pass down to my kids to fade, whether it's something that I'm teaching them or something that I'm giving them. We praise the royal family for the jewels that they pass down, the family heirlooms that they pass down. And I just want to start creating that type of generational pride. And sometimes you can do that in a materialistic nature with a beautiful brand like Shinola.
I'm gonna let you know this though. I don't know how much we praise in the royal family in this day and age, but I'll leave that. I don't need that subject for another day. I feel you. You know, one of the things that I thought about, because watching you as a former professional athlete, you're doing such great work. I think about Michael Strahan, and I think about yourself as two dudes that are just setting a new kind of standard. You know, in terms of the modern day athlete transitioning into bigger roles. Down the line, obviously, once your professional playing career is over. As a father, because this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going here. As a father, I imagine that when you were out on the field, yes, you're playing for excellence, yes, you're playing to win, but you're also playing to provide for your family. Being on television, I get the sense that there's even greater responsibility that hits you when you know millions of people are watching you every morning on the tube, actually communicate and conveying messages and to some degree dictating narratives. Talk to me about how your life has changed as a father and as a man, being in the role that you're in now compared to what it was when you played.
That's a beautiful question. Stephen A., you understand the duality of working when you are in your early 20s. And at times it can be very self-serving. You know, we want to be rich, we want to be famous, we want to be heard, we want to be seen. But as I started to transition out of the game, I realized that it wasn't about me. It was more about my kids. And there is a responsibility being on TV. Gail says it best. We have a front row seat to history, and we're able to basically open up that window to the world every morning and deliver the news, no matter how harsh. We'll do that for 2 hours, and then hopefully somewhere in there we can uplift your day. I think the thing that's beautiful, and it's something that you pointed to about what we do and how we do it for our kids. When I played and someone would walk up to me, my ego would want them to say, Nate, oh, I remember that touchdown. Or, I remember that year you put up 1,000 yards. Oh, you helped me win my fantasy. And I tell you what, man, a young Nate Burleson would eat it up. Tell me more. Tell me how great I am. But now at 41, when someone walks up to me, I don't even want them to tell me about me as an athlete. I love it when they come up to me and compliment me for the job that I do on TV, because I spent so many years chasing a Lombardi trophy and didn't get close. 11 years, playoffs, got close to a championship game, but never won that trophy. And there was a void in me, and I didn't realize it until I started working in TV. And then one day I woke up and I realized the same men who make Lombardi trophies also make Emmys. And I can go out and chase another type of trophy.
That's right.
And when my kids see someone walk up to me now and they compliment me not on my athleticism, but on my intelligence, that is the best feeling in the world, because it's showing my kids that you can transition into a space outside of the athletic realm and still be even more impactful than you ever thought. So this is the most fulfilling job that I've ever had, working in morning news. But as you know, I mean, you've been doing the grind. If you covered it all, you've done everything from politics, societal issues, of course, all sports, current events. It can be exhausting, but when you know that you're doing a good deed and you're leaving your legacy behind, and I've heard you talk about this, especially recently. You've been doing a run of interviews and you talked about what you wanted to do next, and you said, I want to do it all. I'm ready to take over the world. I want to be remembered as one of the greatest minds to ever grace a microphone. And you are on that path, and I find myself also walking in those footsteps.
Well, sure, you got most of us beat, my brother. You're doing a fabulous job. It's absolutely sensational. Before I let you get on out of here, that transitions nicely to your podcast, because you got your podcast with iHeartRadio, The Process with Nate Burleson. Talk to me about that. That's the last thing I want to get into before I let you get on out of here. Let our listeners know, our viewers know what that's about and what inspired you to do that.
Yeah, so I linked up with iHeartRadio a while back. We landed Rihanna on the first interview to cover her Super Bowl halftime performance. And I wanted to dive into the process of how it takes to get to where people are. You know, dive a little bit deeper. I know everybody has a podcast and everybody has an angle. I just didn't want to, you know, talk to people and have them express the great times, the good times, the positive things that have come out from them being successful. I want to know about the grind. I want to know about the times when people aren't paying attention. And you know, like I know, it's not what people see on TV that makes us good. Oftentimes, we tell other people it's the reps. It's not the reps on TV. It's what we're doing when we're not on TV that allows us to be as good as we are. So that's what the process is. So we're looking forward to building on top of that and getting more guests. I'm going to have to lock you in pretty soon, my brother.
Well, first of all, anytime you need me, you know I'm going to be there, man. I remember the conversation we had in the Bahamas, and you talked about your visions, your dreams, and what you wanted to do and what you were aiming to pull off, and you've done it already. And this is just the beginning, man. I mean, I'm so proud. And, you know, when I look at myself on air and the whole bit, this can't last forever. I can't do this. I'm 55. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to do my thing and what have you. But if all I'm doing is achieving for myself and I'm not helping brothers and sisters along the way, I haven't accomplished a damn thing. And every time I see you, I'm just proud of what you're doing, my man. I can't say enough about the job that you're doing. Keep up the great work, my brother. You know, I love you. No, I appreciate you. And I know you're going to continue to do big things.
I love you too, man. I appreciate you, man. Keep leading the way. And I know you're doing acting soon, so when they need your stump double, just holler at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got you.
I feel you on that. I got to leave town about a week, so I got to do the NBA draft. Then after that, I got to head down. I got to head out to L.A. because I got to do Port Charles has summoned me, General Hospital on ABC.
That's right.
I got to get on out
Recurring
there.
role. I see you.
I got to get on out there for that. So yeah, you take it easy, my brother. All right, one love, baby.
All right, man.
Take it easy. All right, the one and only Nate Burleson, CBS co-host, CBS this morning. He's doing a great job. Him and Michael Strahan, both friends of mine, doing fabulous jobs, doing a fantastic job. Former athletes in the National Football League that show up on national television every day and making waves. I'm talking about where Barbara Walters used to grace, okay? Where Charlie Rose used to grace, for crying out loud. I'm talking about where Robin Roberts and George Stephanopoulos and Gayle King on the CBS side. I'm talking about that's where Michael Strahan and Nate Burleson are doing great things. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is something special.